Hey, everybody. Hello, we are here. I'm here with my artist, Charlotte Bruijn. Please type in where you are. It's always fun to see you and your names and who and what. I'm going to ask her how she became an illustrator and what medium she uses, what she loves about being an illustrator, and how she structures her day and all kinds of goodness. Hello, Nicole from Chicago. Charlotte, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. You're one of our newer artists. So we've got a lot to talk about. How are you feeling? How's the weather there? Where do you live? First, start telling
Hi.
me.
Yes, I'm super excited to see you all. And the weather is very good today in Hilversum. I live in the Netherlands, in the center, is it? And yeah, it's a great day.
That's great. That's great. And do you have a special spot in your apartment for your studio? A
Yes,
special room you work in?
I live in a house that's built in the 30s, and we have a big attic, and there I have my space there, so I'm very lucky to have it.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
wonderful.
there
That's
are many light windows, and yeah, it's empty, so it's cool.
that's wonderful. We've got Yona, Alistair, Christina, Brooke, Sue, Juanita, Raquel, Annalise. So many familiar names from Matt's classes. Love to see the students. So let me just introduce our guest today. So Charlotte started as a graphic designer. She's going to talk a bit more about how she went from being a graphic designer to a full-time represented illustrator. Lucky us. She was a graphic designer with her best friend. Then she began working professionally as an illustrator after she took my illustrating children's book class in 2017, and then she took it again in 2019. A few of her clients are Fleuris Edition Paris, Penguin Random House, Little Tiger, and she keeps very busy. In fact, she's so heavily booked. Is it right? Do you refuse a few things, don't you? Because you're so busy. I think I have that right.
Unfortunately, I have to say no to some assignments. Yes, but
That's the
I'm lucky.
dream.
I'm lucky to work on all these great assignments.
What
I
do you
really
like
am.
about being an illustrator of picture books?
It's just being in the best place. I love illustrating because I can make up worlds that don't exist yet. And the best part is getting to know the character. I always think about building a character that could be my best friend. And when you work with a character for a longer time, 2 or 3 months, you really I would really want to give the best world environments for that character. So I really enjoy that.
Oh, that's wonderful. So give me for instance, of a world you created. What's a world that you recently created for a book or
Um,
a spread, a double page spread?
right now I'm working on a pirate book. And pirates weren't in my vocabulary before. So it was really a great assignment where I had to do a great research in advance. Look at the clothes and the time frames where pirates lived, and the different boats and everything. So what was very excited about it, I didn't want to make the very common images or the cliches. I wanted to look farther to make every page turn a real exciting surprise for your eye. And besides that, the story isn't just one picture book with one story, it's a book with 7 stories. So I had to make several characters and worlds and environments that come along with them.
We are going to be looking at her portfolio very soon. How great is that? So how do you make pirates? What you said intrigued me. How do you make pirates different than we expect or something like that? Or what you said, how do you do that?
Well, first of all, you really read the manuscript that was sent to you. And then the ideas pop in mind quite easily in my mind. And then I feel, okay, this pirate has to be very big with enormous feet or something. You have small things in the text which helps you to develop the character building. And I always like to make things bigger than they are written literally. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so interesting. Okay, so you get the text, you agree to illustrate it, you look at your schedule, you see what you can do. So what criteria do you use to decide, yes, I'm going to illustrate this book? Like the money, the time, the subject matter, the art director you work with. Like, you want to speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's true that there are very many things that that come to mind when you take in a new assignment, because you have to work on it for quite a long time and you have to earn your living with it. So and
How
of
long?
course, the people who you are working with, you have to ask how much freedom in how you create the book. How much freedom do you get when you develop anything, or how many adjustments you have to make
Right,
in
right,
all the
a lot of,
phases.
like a lot of revisions.
Yes.
Yeah, when I was an illustrator, for me, it was like so much was the art director. Like, is this going to be really fun to work on or make me crazy? And you
Yeah.
don't know. Art directors that are watching, what makes a great art director, I should write a piece on this actually, I'm gonna make a note, is you totally get to make changes, of course. That's normal. However, the more you discuss up front with the artist, the more you look at their work and say, this piece is the mood, the feel, the color palette I'm thinking. What do you think? Like, as much as specific you can get without over art directing, without saying, well, I want the sailboat here and I want the dog up here. No, let the artist design the page, because artists have a way, their own way of making a good page. So you want to give them creative freedom. But if you know, like, I need that dog to be a Dalmatian just because for some reason that's what it is in the text or whatever. Like, if there's must-haves, say the 1 or 2 or 3 must-haves, and then when you're both on the same page, then the artist can really do their best work. Too much art direction, you don't get the best out of the artist, no matter how great they are. Too little art direction and then coming in later for changes is really like, when an artist sits down, and Charlotte, I want your take on this too. When I would do my piece for a client, I gave 110%. And if then they gave changes, and while I was nearing the end of the piece, it's almost done. Oh, yay. Wow, that was great. Now, if I have to start over again or change a ton of things, I lose my oomph. But it's also different now with digital. You can easily change. But when are the changes too much, and when are they a good amount of changes from an art director? Like, is it what would be too much? Or maybe there aren't too much.
I have a quite good workflow with phases, and I must say, I must admit, I never get too many adjustments.
Okay, good.
I can tell a bit about my phases. Maybe that could be helpful for others.
Your phases?
Yeah.
Phases, yes, that would be fantastic.
Because of course, like we said before, we have to discuss a lot upfront about what they want and how many pages and what the target group is, who is reading the book eventually. And then I get a big stack of fresh paper, and I'm going to make very roughs, really ugly roughs. And then I don't show that to the client yet, but I already know what the pace of the book will be and where I should place spots or half pages or full spreads. So I have in mind already how the book flow, how it would be as magical as possible. And then I start creating the characters, and I send them to the client, and then they can make they can say anything about it. Most of the time they like it in the first time.
So a character page.
Yeah.
Is it 1 page, 2 pages, or?
Yeah, it depends on the amount of characters.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
And what do you put on a character page? And did you learn that from illustrating children's books from Zoe?
Well, in time, when I just had followed your tremendously awesome course, I loved diving in all the several character emotions and make a character sheet out of that. But now I already know in my head how that looks, so I don't have to draw it down the first time. Sorry, I forgot your question.
Well, so your phases, so you have the first phase of the really ugly roughs, which Raquel Russo loved in the comments. And then you do a character page or pages, depending how many characters you have. And they then will approve, likely, because your characters are great. And then what's your third phase?
Well, then I start the roughs to build the roughs more in balance, so you can really see where all the things will be placed. Yeah, that's the next phase. And in between, I will when I have finished all pages, I will send that to the client, and they will see and can give back their opinion about it.
Yeah.
And the last phase is then the coloring.
That's wonderful. So yeah, well, and one of the reasons why you don't get a lot of changes is because you do a lot of work ahead of time. You have a great character page. The client, the art director really cares about the character. That's the whole, like 90%. So once you nail that, they're going to feel a lot more comfortable seeing the character with various facial expressions, emotions, poses, actions, activities, and so forth. And then they are more comfortable. Okay, so you get a call for a job. Back to the question, how do you decide if you want to take it, or is that too hard to answer?
Well, no, it isn't. It must hit your heart, you know, the manuscript and the freedom you feel within, and the click you have with the story. I've had stories that weren't as polished as they could be for me. I could imagine it would be better for someone else to illustrate it. And then, yeah, my style is quite lively and with a lot of things going around. So some stories don't question that, or some publishers want very little on the page for small children. And for me, that's quite hard because I like I like to add the most rich world for the character as possible. So you have a deeper understanding who the character is, and you can read the book for 1,000 times again and again and still see something new. And when you are a parent, you like that, because I remember I was reading one golden book, the taxi, I don't know if you know it, but I had to read that to my son for a zillion times, and I was so happy. There were storylines that weren't in the text, but I could talk about that with my kid, and yeah, it was a great time together. And that's what I always keep in mind, that you are illustrating for someone, a parent or a grandfather or a child who is learning to read itself. Yeah, so
it's such a good point, Charlotte. Thank you for adding that. It's so true. Yeah, you're 2 tracks almost. Yeah, yeah. Francesca says so true. The book is also for the parent. Yeah, and we do love looking at a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful page with lots. And that's one of the reasons why you're so busy. Besides, your characters are amazing, but you, as you said, you give so much in an image. There's just so much. So I think we should look at your portfolio, but I do want to know what medium. Well, no, I'm going to open it up and then I'll ask you that. So let us share the screen. So we go boom and boom and boom. And here we are. And you may need to open your chat again if it's closed, Charlotte, if you want that. Okay, here we have it. I mean, you see what I mean? Look at the fish. Look at this crab. Look at this. Her lettering is so good. She draws the letter form. She doesn't write. It's not handwriting. This is lettering. It's each letter form is carefully thought through, just like she does the fish and the girl and so forth. You know, look at the little touches. I could like spend an hour on this piece. So there's a little bit of seaweed in her hair. Her hair, you can tell she's underwater, not just the fish and the bathing suit. Everything says water, fish, dog. Oh no, she's not underwater. She's wet. She's jumping up. Sorry. Oh, well, but it's watery. Okay. So anyway, she's jumping up and here's the splashing and she's going to go back down. There's a crab. Like this is the extra. She didn't have to do a crab on a boat. Okay. I probably wasn't even wherever. So let's go to the next page. Tell us about this one.
Oh, this was so cool. I had so much fun making this.
You can tell.
I love frogs. I don't know why, but I love frogs. They are so chubby and yeah, they almost don't have real forms, but they do have forms, of course. I made this one for the menagerie. And I was thinking about the ways how you can put your illustration on things, like I could see this on bedding or a wallpaper or a puzzle maybe. Yeah, and it was also a way to show how I would approach a frog character in different ways. So this could be a story on its own, or
and this is this is a personal piece she did for our agency. We have an event called the Menagerie where we give trend boards. This year, Agent Susan and Agent Kim made the Pinterest collections of, I think, 5 different categories of work they want to see, that our clients want to see, and then the artists create images, personal pieces. So that's great. Lynn Gaines wants, hi Lynn, glad you're here, wants to know, Charlotte, do you paint traditionally and then add digital painting or all digital?
Oh, that's a great question, Lynn. I always start with pencil, just good old pencil. And then I scan it in and add anything that's necessary in Photoshop.
Mhm.
So I don't use any paint. Yeah, I do use paint, but not on my professional illustration ways.
So this is all Photoshop?
Yeah, it is.
So it's not iPad Pro, Procreate.
No, I'm just a Cintiq person.
Oh, it's a Cintiq pad.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. I was gonna say, oh Lord, how you're like, that's amazing to do it. Okay, but obviously you have the pad. Okay. This is one of the reasons I took you on when I saw this in class. I think this was this in class?
No, it wasn't in class. It was right after class.
Maybe I saw it on your Instagram feed. I don't know.
Yeah, I love
Anyway,
that
I
one.
love it.
Yeah, it was I love the theme. It was for a book, a biography for Jean Clark. It was a biologist for a marine theme like sharks.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, the assignment didn't go through. But I really loved the idea of making a biography with the person as child and as an adult.
And I love your black and white your pencil drawings. I just love those, the gray tone, really beautiful. Of course, she's a great character, but her color palette here, I love her bright colors and I love this, yes, the fun details. Jonah makes asks, I love those fun details. How do you decide when it's enough or how are you able to keep such good balance? So and not put in too much. I know the answer because she always makes the focal point pop. And as long as that focal point is there, this girl, she can put in as much seaweed as she wants. Do you agree or not?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Okay. Oh my God. The
Focal
color.
point.
She's, yeah, focal points. This girl is luminous. This page is luminous. Look at this. That I've never seen. That is a riot. Oh my God.
Yeah, you have to see him bigger.
Yeah, this was for class for
Yeah, it was for class.
yeah,
Yeah.
Bug and Bob. And yeah, so you took illustrating children's books twice, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's great because you know,
it was the best. Yeah.
that's so great.
That's such a good place to be when you want to play and experiment and learn and want to be blown away by all the talent of all the other people who are there as well, working on the same text. And it's so inspirational to see all the different takes everybody does. You learn so much from each other. It's amazing.
Yeah. And just making notes. So were you a children's book illustrator before you took illustrating children's books, the course?
No, Lilla, you changed my life. Really, you did. Yeah, really. Your course was life-changing for me.
Thank you. That's all I want.
Yeah.
That is what I want. That means so much to me. That's what I do, You know, I'm a teacher through and through, and teachers just want their students to thrive. It's like some crazy DNA, some brain chemistry thing. So I'm almost speechless. So what I want to know is how were you drew your whole life, right?
Yeah, I drew, but it wasn't before I met your courses. I really understood the differences between markets. Like you have children's books and editorial for adults and wall decor and all these different areas you can specialize in.
So, and you took Maths A and B, right?
Yes, that I took Maths A and B, and there I realized, okay, there are different areas in this profession. Okay, and Maths A and B also there was also a children's book
Right.
assignment in there, and then then I really knew, oh, I have to develop this thing more, and then I started with ICB.
Yeah, well, that's why I did that course at A and B, because Make Art That Sells Part A and Part B, they have 5 different markets in each, total of 10, because I want people to see all the ways you can make a living.
That's the
I
best.
want you to see. And I love hearing this, that you did all of them and then realized children's books is for me, which is
Yeah.
great because it's super lucrative too, which is important.
Yeah.
There's something about when you get paid for your art. The first time I got a paying gig for my illustration, the validation for me, I didn't even know the word for the feeling, validation. It was right. You just like, I'm like, this is what people feel like who have paying jobs, you know, because I had always had like odd jobs or whatever, but not like a really good, it's like all the people out there with getting paychecks. Wow, that's what they feel. Anyway, back to you, sorry. So, okay, well, let's move along to the next one. This is just crazy good. Now, here's an example of Charlotte putting a ton in, but we do read it here. Okay, tell us about this piece.
I also made this one for the menagerie, and this is a good example. I really challenged myself to put as much in it as possible. Not that I want to overdo it, but in the beginning of my illustration career, I just focused on the character a lot, and then I was really somehow afraid of adding an environment. I didn't knew how to make an environment interesting. I really didn't knew.
When was, at what point was that you didn't know how to make an environment? Way back?
Yeah, of course, before I started requests from publishers, because when you get a real book with 32 pages or anything, you you have to deal with all those environments. So yeah, I was really scared to do that in the beginning, but I have this affirmation you always tell everyone in your courses, that's people buy your joy, and that's my daily affirmation. Somehow
it comes through in the art in an almost psychic way. People feel it, they sense it. Even if you're drawing like somebody happy, but you're miserable doing it, it comes through. You can draw somebody miserable, but you are loving the experience, it comes through.
I agree.
Yeah. I want to just talk about all the great things in this piece, for example. Like, I mean, who is just staring at this piece and like has been looking at the whole time? Because like the chin on the boat, are you kidding me? The binoculars and this face is just too precious. These kids, I love the multicultural or diverse skin tone here and here. The guitar with the blue, like she could have just done a guitar, but she does a blue guitar, aqua, with like a dark blue pattern. And then your eye goes back and you're like, you're wandering, you're almost hiking and exploring yourself. There's a little tent and it falls, and then you go into the mountains and there's sunset, and you go up and there's freaking balloons and pine cones here, by the way. And she didn't just, please people, do not just do a basic leaf that you drew just out of your head always, although that rule is meant to be broken, but get reference. How interesting is this to look at? As an illustrator, you're a stylist. Pick things, research things, so it's interesting to see the various, look at these pine cones. She knew what she was doing. Look at the strawberries and this porcupine. I can't get over it. Okay. This, I'm going to say this with every piece. When I saw, you did this, when did I see this? Oh, I saw this on your portfolio before I repped you, I think.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's really good. Now, one piece does not a represented artist make. An agent needs to see a bunch of really, really strong pieces. A bunch. How many? I don't know. 15, 20, 10, 30. But you need a bunch. This is really, and you've even come so far from this. Your lettering, it's gotten everything, but it's so fantastic. I love her. Any want to share about this one for us? What's the story behind? What did you do this for?
This one was for Penguin Random House. I was this was my actually my first assignment for a publisher.
Mhm.
I work closely with Draga, the author, and she was really nice. And I must say, everyone in publishing world is really nice.
I agree.
But Draga and I had some kind of same humor, and we really understood what the story needed. They in advance they had thought about the compositions of the pages, not exactly how and where everything has to be placed, but like they said in text, well, we think for the cover about a child who is in the center, and we want to see candy around her. That was the brief.
Who is staring at all the different candies and still seeing more and more? It's incredible. Yeah, that's my favorite right here. That's great. Okay, and this is from an interior page. I love these children. Each child has a personality, has a different appearance, has different hair, different clothing. So they are characters. You know, the best way to learn about illustrating picture books is watch a lot of movies and analyze the sets, the styling, the scenes, the narrative, the character development. Okay. Tell us about this piece.
Yeah, in addition, what you just said earlier, watch movies. I always try to look at the scene in a movie scene. So the best still from the movie scene. Yeah, and when you get a sentence like, "Do you go to fancy parties with ice cream, cake, and ponies?" and you think, this couldn't be any better to draw this. So yeah, of course they suggested to draw the adults riding on ponies, but they let it free. So I love the idea of the granny with the pony on her back.
Well,
Yeah,
exactly. So unexpected.
yeah.
So unexpected. Like you just, yeah.
Yeah, you
Fabulous.
can imagine that I am right at that party at that moment, and I am having my best. I'm living my best life at that moment to come up with these characters and their funny way of living.
And what Charlotte just said, viewers, is so key. She said she imagines being there. And when it's almost like you're an actor and you feel the role and you put yourself in the position, then it's going to be more personal, more authentic. As Greg Vineyard says, hi, Greg, good to see you, by the way. The joy is so clear. I'm just really really wanting a dessert right now, by the way. Looking at this, I just really want a piece of that cake, any of those. So, and and she just didn't do, I mean, look, it's like a gramophone or whatever it is on a green bench and record player, and just the little details are so fantastic. Okay. You can be a farmer too. Tell us about this.
This book I illustrated for Little Tiger. It's a book about a sister and her brother. The brother is afraid of all the animals, and the sister is let him feel more at ease with them. And I had to draw farmer environments, which was new to me. And I had to draw a cow. And I have to admit, I really have had to draw, I think, 15 different cows before. It was I was quite ashamed. But eventually we, all the other animals went in one take. But a cow is a very difficult animal to draw.
Why
Just
was
like
that?
a bicycle or
Why?
something.
Why was it hard?
It was hard because of the cubic forehead or something. I don't know. It's I never drew a cow in my children's book illustration style before, so it was the cow that I drew before was too realistic at that
You
time.
had stylized it like,
Yeah,
you know, when you've
that
drawn
was the problem. Yeah.
like this cat is so stylized, you know exactly the shapes, the proportion, the big head, the triangular little body, and so forth. I think you're the most fun drawing this goat. Am I right?
Yeah, it was. I love goats.
You
I
can
wanted
see.
to have one. I want to have one.
Yeah, I you can just tell, you know, it's interesting how that is. Everything about it, including how she did the fur. And this chicken is fantastic. I illustrated a book for Chronicle a long time ago, 1994. I was pregnant with Jacob. And it was called the Chicken Soup Book. And I had to draw chickens like a billion times. So I kind of, and they became more and more stylized till they were barely a chicken, but you know, that's a story for another day. So let's go here. I mean, yeah, this is so gorgeous. Again, all the activity and so forth. Okay, tell us about this beautiful thing.
Well, this was in 2017 when I met your first course, ICB. This was a character sheet for Eleanor Wants a Pet. I just can say my heart burst when this course, the story, Zoe Tucker wrote this story, and it was written on my pencil somehow. The amount of sketches I made for this one was amazing. When I was drawing one sketch, I had already had another idea in my head for another. I couldn't stop. It was crazy, and then it really was something that told me in my heart I have to do something with this, because this works. I illustrate so easily. Really from my passion, my heart. It goes so well. Yeah, not that I want to say I can illustrate very good, because everybody can learn in a way, but I felt so good. It was such a relief to just create and play and explore and to be in the moment with this fun character and story. I really loved it.
You know, you hear how Charlotte talks. Her art matches her personality. So that's what makes the authenticity. She's not trying to be vivid and joyful and energetic. It's exactly who she is. You know, she's energetic in how she talks. She's enthusiastic. She has all this buoyancy. And so her work is a reflection of that. And I mean, I can't take my eyes off this girl. And the frog pockets. How did you come up with the frog pockets? Just did, or?
You gotta love a frog. I don't know. I can't remember, but it's just a fun way to put your kids have those funny thing of doing. I love watching kids, how they run or hold things, or yeah, I love watching my kids as well.
How many kids do you have?
I have a boy and a girl, age 9 and 12 now.
It's fabulous. That's
Yeah,
good.
they're great.
They're good references. Okay. Yeah, this one I went nuts over. This was for class, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the beauty, I'm going to give you a little inside info. So as an agent teaching the classes, I see an artist do a great piece. Okay, one great piece does not a represented artist make, as I said already. However, you keep your eye on them. By the way, we're going to have a giveaway at the end, so stay tuned for that. But I keep my eye on the artist, and when they keep crushing it week after week. And then, did you send me something in the mail?
Last year I did.
Yeah.
Just to thank you.
I think you sent me like a booklet, right? Did you send me a booklet or something? Anyway, and then, because agents get busy, they're always busy, and they may love your work. But I mean, I loved your work probably in the first class, but how many years did it take? When did I take you on? 2021?
Yeah, last year.
Last year. And you took the class 2017. So things take time. Okay, this is great. Tell us about this.
This is Pippa and her stuffed toy, Mr. Hare. For Pippa, he's alive, but that's her imagination who thinks he's alive. It's a character I was asked to develop, and together with Standaard Uitgeverij in Belgium. And they asked me to make a series with this character, and to develop a story together with the publisher. And yeah, so the 2 books are just released last half year. So I'm very
wrote
happy.
this. You wrote this
together with the publisher. The concept, we thought that we brainstormed about the concept, and then we both went back and forth about the story, and the publisher helped me with that.
Wonderful. That's great practice for when you and I work together on writing and authoring and illustrating a picture book of your own. How about that, huh? So this is a potty chair, is that it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a potty training. The publisher came up with the idea, we want to make a book about a potty training. And we brainstormed, and I said, okay, I want to do it, but I want to do it in a not common way, and make it very adventurous. So let's make up all kind of stories, what you can see in a potty. So a potty could be a hat, or a table, like to drink tea on.
That's brilliant. This is gorgeous. Fleurs, beautiful. Okay, I'm going to zip through so we have time for Q&A at the end. Just gorgeous. Wait, let's go back. So tell us about this.
Well, in short, I love to draw horses. I had one when I was little, and so drawing horses is something I really love to do. But this book was 60 pages magical animals alongside the unicorn, all kinds of unicorns. And that was a real challenge, because I never illustrated magical creatures before.
Oh, that's perfect for you, though.
In 2 pages after this, you see other strange.
Talk about an underbite. Wow.
and a hole because of the donuts in his tooth. But yeah, I really loved working on this book with all its magical
And this
beings.
is a little different style for you too, isn't it? Just slightly. No, just a little.
Yeah, maybe it's different because it's a magical being.
Yeah, yeah. Different characters, I should say, not different
Yeah.
style. And then this was for class, right?
Yeah, this was the 2019 ICB.
Yeah. Oh, I paint purple. That's the story I wrote.
Yeah.
I paint purple. Yeah. It's fabulous characters. Oh, yeah. This, I'm going to say, oh, this was the piece that made me want to represent you. I think I've said that 12,000 times already. But I mean, look, first of all, the girl pops. So she can have all the busy stuff and the purple birds. Then all the background is more muted. But and yet we go back here, we see the mom with a face like, what? And I love how she styled the room, the living room, with the art on the wall and the sophistication of having all the artwork the same color palette in shades of gray and taupe cream. Look at this little cart with the wheels and the brushes, and you know, it's about a girl that only paints using purple and loves everything purple, and the mom tries to get her to do other colors. And instead of saying, oh, you're right, mom, I should use other colors, and you're right, I've limited my palette. The girl goes, no, mom, thanks, but I just like painting purple. And I love that because I don't want it to always be like the kid doesn't know what they're doing and the parent teaches them and then they're better. Like it's a child who knows who she is. Okay, this is beautiful, beautiful. Yes, yes, so great, so great. Tell us about this. Love, look at this hair.
That's the Little Princess Without Stink. It's an end paper. I have made 2 end papers for this, different end papers for this book. It adds a storyline that isn't literally in the text, but really adds something to the whole experience of the book. And end papers always are a place where you are able to illustrate them. Are a place where you can experiment and yeah, be free a little more. So I really had a lot of fun illustrating all these diversity and yeah, different farting.
Yeah,
forms.
Charlotte, how long did it take you to do a piece like this? Do you know?
Yeah, this I did it in. I have to go back, but it's not really very detailed in background. So I guess I did 2 days, like sketching and coloring.
Okay, 2 like pretty full
No,
day.
yeah, I don't know. It's full day, but under one day and like 12 hours or something.
Okay, it's wonderful. I bet people want to know that. Ginger asked, I'd love to hear more about how you got over your fear of creating backgrounds for children's books. Did you practice drawing scenery from life? What else was important to you in that transition?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Mm-hmm.
When you have the manuscript in front of you, it tells, most of the time it tells where you are. So you have a certain kind of you can hold on to that, and then it's I always try to get the focal point on the character. So it's a kind of trick to place the character in the where your eye has to go immediately to the to the character, and then you build the most important attributes you start with the most important things, and then you see when you have, for example, when you have a pirate on the beach and you have to show a ship. Okay, then you have a ship, but does it need more? Does it need palm trees? You can just try if it's too much or not. Does it need clouds? Does it need more animals? Does it need more to make it interesting? But you have to keep in mind the focus on the main story character. I hope.
Well, that's so well put. Absolutely. Wow. Oh my God, these colors. So beautiful. Okay. And is that's the last piece?
That's the last one, yes.
Okay, we have a bunch of questions. Juanita asks, how much time do publishers usually give you to develop a book?
Well, when it's 32 pages, most of the time I need 3 months. I always divide it in 6 weeks sketching and 6 weeks coloring.
Wow. But typically you get 6 months. No, not 6 months.
No, never.
Wow.
Well,
Wow,
maybe it's when you have, of course, you have to you have more assignments right after each other. So you have to think about that when you plan your schedule for the whole year. So for me, 3 months works.
Okay, that's good. Christina says, wow, that's great to have 3 months. That makes me feel better. So why does that make you feel better, Christina?
Yeah.
Knowing that you have that kind of time? Yeah, probably. Nagol says, how did you advertise your work before you had an agent? Or
I
you
used
did?
Instagram. No, I didn't really did any marketing or something. I had sent out a few PDFs to publishers I really wanted to work with. But most of the time they contacted me via Instagram.
Mhm.
They saw my work there. So that's a great way to keep posting people.
Yes, Instagram was made for the visually creative community.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It just changed everything. Okay, so we answered Lynn Gaines' question. Then let's see. Mitzi Testani asks, do you scan these images in as several icons or as one finished piece before you finish in Photoshop? I think she just does it all in Photoshop. Right?
Yeah, I do all my work in Photoshop. I only start with the sketches, the ugly, ruggly sketches, but with my pencil.
Okay. So she does the exploratory work in pencil. How do you plan your color palettes? Asks Yen. They are, excuse me, so unique and beautiful.
Well, thank you. Sometimes you get inspired by things you see in the world around you. For example, with Easter, you see a lot of yellows and combined with purples and lilac and blues and stuff. And then somehow I make a picture with my phone, and then I remember,
Oh,
this is a good combination. This could work for something later.
that's a great idea. Do you all hear that? She takes photos of color combos. Juanita Londoño says, I'd love to know how you divide your day to fit in the work hours.
That's a real struggle. But I must admit, I work a lot. I make a lot of hours.
Okay.
I start my day, of course. Oh, sorry.
What do you remove from your life so that you have the time? Because it's a decision you make.
Yeah.
So you don't just binge watch on your some
No.
shows in the middle of the day when you could be working. You make those choices. I'm sorry, so go on.
Yeah. For example, you're right. I don't watch TV, for example.
So how do you, so you get up, tell us again about your day.
First, I get up in the morning and then I have to get my kids to school.
Mhm.
And then I start and I work for 2 hours. And then my dog is standing next to me and he's telling me with those droopy eyes, please walk me. So then we go to the forest. It's next around my house. And then I get to clear my mind a bit more. And then I get to work until the kids come back from school. I have to pick them up, of course. My daughter, I have to pick up my daughter. And I work in evenings when they are asleep.
Oh, wow. Okay. I love that you get out and get fresh air and exercise too, because when we sit a lot, you can get very tired. That's wonderful information. Okay. Maral Verolian asks, how did you transition from being a graphic designer to a full-time freelance illustrator? And how did you make that decision that that was what you wanted to do?
There was no return after I joined ICB. It was so clear for me that I was on the wrong path. I really needed to explore if being a professional illustrator was something I could do. And we all know you live just once. So I turned, back in the days, I turned 40 and I thought, well, it's now or never. I have to try. So I took the plunge. I just did.
Mhm. Were you scared? No, you were too excited.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, and I was lucky enough that I was approached right after the course by a lovely lady, Maureen, and she had this true story about her dog. It was a self-publishing project, and that was the perfect real life school for me. Yeah, to explore if making a children's book from scratch was something for me.
Mhm.
I told them afterwards it was my first book, and they didn't believe
After.
me.
Yeah. Oh, by the way,
Yeah.
that's great. But it was, and why was it a perfect first book? Because it wasn't a big, huge, fancy publisher, right?
Yeah, that helped, but it was also the storyline. I believed in the storyline, and
Okay.
it helped even more that the client was super kind, but also professional. She really had thought about how to market it and how she would sell it afterwards. So I knew in advance, okay, not all my effort that I will put in will be lost afterwards. It would, when I give my 110%, she will add 200% to make it a success. So
That's
yeah.
great information, because self-publishing is becoming more respectable and a bigger and bigger thing.
Exactly.
And what you're telling us is there's self-publishing and there's self-publishing. There's the person who's never art directed before and they want work. And this is, you know, an art director at a big publishing firm is a professional. They've done a ton of books. They know how to art direct. They know how to work with an illustrator. And they also, it's not their baby. I mean, they love their books. They love their books a lot, but if it's an individual and this is their one story, it's their baby, and maybe they've never art directed art before, and that can be really tricky. So you need to vet them. Don't just take, and you need to charge a really good amount, even if it's self-publishing. And what Charlotte said is you want to see that they have a plan for it too. So it's worth your while. It's got to be worth your while in some way. You're not so desperate that you'll just take anything. You are not. Trust me, no matter what stage. Okay, Lauren Bro asks, do you use a lot of reference? Like, do you draw from photo reference or?
Well, when the subject is not, when I'm not familiar with the subject I do, it
Mhm.
really helps. There's so much to see in every subject that brings a big, a richer world to your illustrations. So it's really good to do that.
And I, as an agent, love to see, I love to see interesting backgrounds and information and clothing and plant life. And I know it's come from reference, from photo reference, from research. Okay. Let's see. Raquel Russo asks, how long does it take you to work on each of those 3 phases you talked about?
Well, the sketch phase, when I have in advance, you always set a date, a deadline with the publisher, so you know you have how long you have. And for me, it works to divide it in 2 pieces: the sketch part, the ugly rough parts, and the more defined sketches. To do that in 6 weeks.
Okay.
Also the character development. So that's quite a lot in the first 6 weeks, but I need also the 6 weeks coloring, because it's just, there's so many possibilities in the, I always choose colors in front. I don't use all the colors.
Yeah.
But publishers I've worked with do like to see more colors than just 6, or they want to see a very rich colored. That's for me, although.
It's great. Lauren Bro asks, how do you incorporate the social aspects of your life, friends, meetings, outings, when illustrating is very solitary?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you've got 2 kids.
Yeah. Yeah, it's quite a challenge to, you have to build in dates in advance. So you have to tell your friends, I'm sorry, I'm very busy. I have to, but let's set a date in over a month or something. So you have something to look forward to. That's what I do with friends. So, but I must admit, I'm a pretty workaholic when it comes to illustration. It's just
because you love it.
It's just what
you
I
want
love.
to be there.
Yeah. It's just it's
just
my happy place, and it's what I want to do with my life at this point.
That's so fantastic. Isn't that so inspiring? Are you also inspired? It's so inspiring. It's wonderful. Okay, we are going to do a little giveaway, and how we do it is type in, let's see. Oh, Greg says, my day would not have been as great if I hadn't seen this interview. So wonderful to see and hear you both. Thank you for sharing. You know what? I'm going to tell you something before we do the giveaway. So, I'm writing my next book, and I'm obsessed. And for 2 months, all I do in between work, around work, before work, after work, is write my book. I'm obsessed. And it reminds me of that creative passion. And so it helped me in interviewing Charlotte, because, and I don't know, just in some way, I'm not even sure yet, but that passion, that wanting to be doing it in that way, it's obsessive. It's the most beautiful obsession in the world. It's a healthy, productive, hyper-focused, obsessive. It's just like unreal. And I'll probably take a few excerpts from what she said here to put in the book and then speak around that. It's endless. I mean, I just have so much content. It's crazy. Okay, so here's how we do the giveaway. Do you want to show them what you're giving away?
Yeah, I have a bunch of books I have them in several languages. So I know there are many people in the chat who are from different countries. And I wanted to make it easy on you to maybe I have one in your language so that the winner gets one book. I have.
Do you want to show a couple of them?
Yeah, I have. Well, this is well, this is a Dutch book I've made with my dear friend Lavina. Lavina and I are friends, and this book we initiated ourselves and pitched it to a publisher, and we are very lucky to have in 2 years the 11th reprint. And today I heard it's going to be published in China and Spain and Italian and Catalan, and yeah, we're very lucky. So this is a really funny, crazy book. So maybe it's in your language, the one who will gets to win the book.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, that's fantastic. Okay, so here's
otherwise I have a book in French as well. So
okay, so you have everything covered. So here's how we do the competition. If you've done it if you've done one of my guessing games, type guess. And if you haven't, type new. So what it is we're going to tell you the category, and this is the category that Charlotte picked. You can guess as many times as you want. The guesses go very, very quickly. We try to see the first one that's correct, but it's often not the first. It's just the one that one of us sees, Kim, Charlotte, or me. Kim is in the background. So that's how it goes. You get what you get. You don't get upset. And then you will you'll type in what language you speak, and she'll work that out with you on the thing. So we asked Charlotte for a category, and the category is an art supply. It's an art supply. So guess an art supply. Happens to be a favorite.
I think I saw it already.
Both words? It's 2 words. 2 words.
I'm not sure I've said the first word.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Graphite pencil, Anna Bianchi. Okay, yay. So Anna is bilingual, Spanish and English. Am I right? Anna. Yay, Anna.
Congratulations, Anna.
And Italian.
Lovely to meet you.
So Anna, you can just email me. It's Kim, Kim at lillarogers.com, and we'll organize for Charlotte to send out your winning book. You can let me know then which language you would like as well.
Or you can tell us right now. Tell us right now. Do you have English, Spanish, or Italian? Which do you want to give her, Charlotte?
That depends what language Anna speaks.
She speaks English, Spanish, and Italian.
Oh, well, the Italian and Spanish will be available later this year. So I don't have it in English, sorry. This one is a Dutch book, but which will be translated in Chinese, Italian.
Oh, she speaks Spanish. French too. If you said you had a French one.
No, I don't have this one in French, but I have another book.
Any book, yeah. Any book in any.
I will send you this one with Perfect. The unicorn.
Will you open that up and show us a couple pages?
Do you read? Yeah, is it okay for Anna? Oh, yeah, I can. Well, this is. Oh, don't know if you can see it.
Oh my God! Yeah. It's like Fantasia.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This was the sleeping area of the unicorn baby.
Beautiful. Congratulations, Anna. Oh, that's wonderful. Oh, that's so great. Well, thank you everyone so much. And Kim, we're going to be popping these up on my YouTube channel, or is Matt's doing that on the Matt's
Yes,
channel, or both?
I will put it on YouTube. I'll also put a link to the replay just on our homepage.
Okay.
And in our blog section, you'll be able to access it under the webinar category.
Okay, and so on YouTube, Lilla Rogers is the handle or whatever. So we're going to start throwing up a lot of things there. So do follow the Lilla Rogers YouTube, and you'll get all kinds of free things to watch. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Charlotte, so much. Thank you, Kim, for background. Charlotte, I've learned so much more about you. I've enjoyed this so much, and you're very inspiring. You're very inspiring. I know so many people. How many of you, the people following, listening, is this motivating for you to, it's motivating, isn't it? She's very motivating. Yeah, majorly. Yes.
People buy our joy, people.
They do, see? And your joy, I mean, her work is very, very happy, but it can be any mood as long as you're loving
Yeah.
what you're doing. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank
And
you.
oh, by the way, tomorrow on Instagram, on your phone, how's that color? That's a Charlotte color.
It
On
is.
Instagram, at noon Eastern time, I'm going to be doing a free free Instagram live with Ruth Burrows.
She's great.
Do join me. She built her own little cabin, and now
She has a shop now, does she?
And now she has a shop. She's not in the cabin anymore. She got an actual like apartment or house or something. And she transitioned from working in the UAE doing event design or something like that to being an illustrator. I just find it so interesting how people do that. So, okay. Well, thank you, everybody. Yes, that is tomorrow, noon Eastern, 12 ET tomorrow. Thank you. I hope to see you. That's a lot of fun too.
You have a lovely job, Lilla.
I love my
With so
job.
many
Oh my
talented
God.
people.
And and then I'm like helping my artists with their texts that they're authoring. I'm developing, and I have 14 artists signed up for the residency with me. It's just for my artists, but I love to mentor artists. I do. It's my favorite thing. So there you go.
Do it well.
Well, it's my joy, baby.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Mitzi. Thank you, Annette. I will see everybody tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.